Hi guys, I wanted to know if being a woman makes a difference to investing success, and if so, why? It pays to know, so it doesn't matter what your chromosomes say. If there's a chance of the cards being stacked one way, it's better to know, right? So we all know Warren Buffett, the greatest investor of all time, and the last time I checked, he was male. I have a few of his books on my shelf that taught me the basics of value investing and how to build screens to try and pick value stocks and all that jazz. But then looking at my shelf, I realized I only had one book by a female investor, and she featured in a previous dividend video, and her name is Geraldine Wise. But let me tell you a little bit about Geraldine before I get into the nitty gritty, right? Geraldine made her name in the 60s and 70s and outperformed many male investors, though for a long time she wasn't taken seriously. And guess why? Well, because she was a woman. In fact, most of her research was published without reference to her first name, as she would be taken less seriously if the community knew she was a woman. How mad is that? That is maddening to me, because having been in the industry where you're publishing research, you're putting things out there, imagine not having your name as it is. Like, I just can't get my head around. By the by, Geraldine is a remarkable woman. She beat many of her male counterparts of her day, and also it's a bit of a rarity. Even she was known to remark the fact that the investment world was seen as a man's world and women need not apply. She was different though, and she applied anyway. So let's sprinkle the facts, guys. Number one, while males still rule finance in numbers, women quietly achieve better results. But why is that? Well, a woman and money survey produced by Fidelity found that less than 9% of respondents believe women were better investors than men. Talk about making assumptions, guys. The amazing thing is the data showed that women empirically outperformed men. But why is that? Another study by Cal Berkeley included 35,000 participants and found two very interesting facts. Firstly, men trade 45% more than women, but women outperform men by about 1% a year. More recent studies show the world has come a long way in gender equality. Surely the gender arbitrage would have been reduced now when it comes to investing. Actually, no. Warwick University, one of the leading economic institutions in the UK, released a survey in 2016, which again found women outperformed men by about 1.2% a year. And actually, another study by Fidelity, which looked at over 8 million account holders, confirmed two things. One, women make better savers, and two, women generated higher returns. So do the findings make logical sense? Well, some of it I find harder to absorb because it's a bit airy-fairy in reasoning. However, as I've said, investing is not hard and women need to be more involved. We can kiss, keep it simple, ladies. And if the data proves anything, women should work together and get more involved in their families to help generate better results. But why? Because it pays to know, guys. It pays to know. It comes down to a few things. Male confidence leads to an illusion of control, which allows biases to more easily seep into investing. And let me just elaborate on that one. In the end, it means that men tend to trade more, which costs more and dilutes performance. Women are apparently much better at doing less than men when it comes to investing, and that is impulse control, keeping those emotions intact. Hard to believe, right? Studies even demonstrated that men tend to overestimate their abilities or have an overconfidence, which also links into bias as well. And what that translates into is that men are more easily susceptible to buy into trends. If it goes up, they pile in. If it crashes, they sell out. And in my own house, my partner and I work together, but I tell you, sticking to the plan in 2020 even needed balls of steel. Anyway, back to Geraldine Wise. What made her a savvy investor? Well, she produced a quarterly newsletter for over 30 years and produced a return of 11.2% per annum over that period, and that by far beat the 9.8% delivered by the market over the same period. We've discussed many times that beating the market on a consistent basis is hard. Not only did Geraldine beat the market, her portfolio was also less volatile, which in simple terms means it didn't jump around as much as the market. But how did she do it? Is still the question. Well, having rules and sticking to them. It's easier said than done, be it man or woman. And I do discuss some of my rules in other videos, particularly on how to pick dividend stocks. And having rules and sticking to them stops the overconfidence and bias and the emotion within the investing moment. She knew what she didn't know, and that itself gave her an edge. Respect. Remember, having an edge is not always an important factor. If you're thinking about investing for your children, for example, I dissect simple investing techniques right here in this video for our little kiddies. Grab a cuppa and I'll see you over there. And if it tickles your fancy, here is a video somewhere that YouTube thinks you should watch. So go ahead and knock yourself out.